Long before we named it love, polarity already moved the stars. But even the stars are held together by something deeper, a silent current we call attraction. You felt it, that pull you can't explain, a person, a dream, a moment that draws you in as if something ancient remembers. But somewhere between longing and wanting, something gets lost. Desire turns into chasing. The sacred current becomes hunger, and what was meant to guide us begins to consume us. Today we mistaken attraction for ownership. We call it chemistry, manifestation, destiny. Yet we hardly ask, what is really moving us? In the Quran it is written, "And of all things we created pairs, that you may remember." Attraction was never meant to make you forget yourself. It was never meant to make you remember the one who breathed life into you. Think about that. Every pull you ever felt was not towards pleasure, it was towards purpose. The ancients never called it the law of attraction. They called it the movement of creation. Everything is existence, atoms, tides, stars, moves because of polarity. Positive and negative, masculine and feminine, heaven and earth. The magnetic field that keeps the moon circling the earth is the same law that makes you long for a union. Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image, male and female created he them. That means attraction is not an emotion. It's a reflection of divine architecture. It's the echo of God's design vibrating through human form. And in the Tao Te Ching, it says, when nothing is desired, all things are at peace. The law was never about getting what you want. It was about stillness. Because when the inner current is still, everything meant for you finds its way home. The Kabbalists call it Zivug, sacred union, the coupling of forces that keeps heaven and earth in dialogue. In their teaching, even God breathes through attraction, an inhale of creation, an exhale of return. When you breathe in, you are not just taking air, you are drawing the universe towards you. When you exhale, you release it back to its source. That is the rhythm of divine attraction. In Jewish mysticism, it's written, the infinite desired to behold itself to creation. So it attracted matter out of light, form out of formlessness, until you were born as a reflection of that same longing. Now look around. Every mountain, river, seed and heartbeat is that same law. Spirit yearning to know itself through form. But here's the paradox. What draws you is also what tests you. Every desire carries a mirror. It shows you not what you lack, but where you are not ready yet. You say you want union, but can you hold peace in solitude? You say you want abundance, but can you stay honest when you are tested with less? Psalm 37:4 says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. That means the heart must be first tuned before the desire can be granted. The Lord doesn't deny, he refines. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, the hearts are vessels, and the purest are those most soft and gentle. So attraction flows not through will, but through purity. What is meant for you can never be taken, but it can be delayed until you are ready to hold it. The delay is not punishment, it's preparation. When man learns stillness, he becomes the field. When woman anchors presence, she becomes the current. Together they stop pulling and start circulating. That is the divine technology of polarity. In Tao's alchemy, this is Wu Wei, action to stillness. In Kabbalah, this is Tiferet, beauty born from balance. In Christianity, it is the kingdom within you. And in Islam, it is Sakina, the tranquility that descends when both surrender to divine will. You heard it said, Like attracts like, but truth attracts truth. When the inside becomes clean, the outside aligns. You no longer draw chaos, you radiate order. You no longer chase love, you become its frequency. Attraction was never designed to fulfill you, it was designed to remind you, to awaken the dormant parts of God still sleeping inside your form. That's why every connection that shook you was sacred, not because it lasted, but because it revealed. The Zohar teaches, the flame cannot exist without the wake, and the wake without the flame. But the light comes only when both surrender to the fire. This is attraction, surrender, not control. It's God using longing to make you remember what you came from. And what is that? Breath, presence, polarity. The invisible current that built the stars and placed one of them behind your eyes. Every force in this universe is moving towards equilibrium. That's what attraction really seeks. Not possession, but peace. The moment you understand that, you stop asking, why am I drawn to this? And start asking, what is this showing me about myself? Because the soul doesn't crave things, it craves reunion. That's why every desire eventually disappoints. Not because it was wrong, but because it was incomplete. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, He has made everything beautiful in His time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Eternity, that's the true object of attraction, the endless remembering of where you came from. Because in the end, attraction isn't about pulling what you want, it's about awakening what already lives inside you. The question is not how to attract, the question is, can you hold what your soul is calling back to you? Maybe attraction was never about two finding each other. It was God finding Himself again through you. So if this spoke to something deep within you, stay, subscribe, because this is only the beginning. Until then, stand steady, walk through,